yeah. Trying to make it work. Yeah. You got a copy, Gerald? How about you? CQ, we can't hear you anymore, Gerald. You still there? Say something, damn it. Yeah. Where's the audio? I'm trying to hear you. I can't hear you there, country DACA kid pants. I can't hear you, Gerald. Can you hear me? Hello? I can't hear you, Gerald. Where are you? I got my audio up. I got audio up, but I can't hear you. Now I'm trying to send you a message. Let me see if I can send you a message. Hello? How about you? Let me see if I can find a message here. Invite, stop video, meeting, invite, mute, Richard type. I'm gonna try to send you a message. Trying to send message. Can't. Chat disabled. Yeah, it says here. Oh, you got your mic muted. You're muted. Hold on. Let me try to type. Hold on. I just sent you an email. It says your mic is muted.
There.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Don't.
Can you hear me, Dave? How about you? We're trying.
How about you? There you are. I think I broke it with this grandpa howl there. I think we got it figured out, Gerald.
Figure it out yet, Dean?
I think so, Gerald. I miss this shit, Gerald. Where the fuck you been? We don't get to talk much anymore. I try to talk peeps too hard. Haven't changed a bit, haven't you? Say, motherfucker.
Say, man.
Where the fuck you been? I've been trying to get your ass on the radio for years, motherfucker. Where'd you go?
Been hibernating or what? Motherfucker?
That's right. Shit, man. So what do you do for work?
Work at a contact center.
You work at the where?
Contact center?
Oh, the contact center. It's too much for one visit, Gerald. Get it all out of your system. Have you been storing it up all these years, have you?
It's called Sop and Sop.
Can't control ourselves, can we? You feel it coming on, Gerald? Yeah, you got it coming on. What's the matter, Gerald?
What's the matter, G?
Haven't had a good laugh like this in a while, I see. Fucking yeah.
I just opened up the chat part and just typed in the name of the company I work for. It's called Sop and Sop.
Oh, Sop and Sop, huh? Slop and Slop.
Motor Repair Network.
Oh, you work on engines and stuff?
No, we just take the calls from accidents, people that had accidents. So it's
gotcha. Okay.
Accident.
A crash, yeah. Too many little parts. Oh shit. I don't know if I can send you a message here. I'm trying to figure this shit out. I'm trying to respond. Hello?
What I do is click on that part there. It says chat. Click on that chat button there. It should open up a.
Yeah, when I normally use Zoom, they have a you can just respond when somebody sends a message. You can just respond directly, and I'm not seeing that here. It just says who can see your messages. Only those can chat with see your messages. Chat disabled. I guess I can't reply. Trying to reply. Invite. Invite. Choose your invitation. No, I'm not gonna invite. No. Apps. Yeah, then I had to do an update on this damn thing to make it actually, work because it wouldn't pick you up. So I guess I had another update. Pain in ass. Direct try now. Let me see if I can try. It says I can copy it.
Yeah.
Click on you. Direct message. Oh, there it is. Now it's back. Okay.
There it is.
Yeah. Try into figure fix. There we are. Send that to you.
Yeah, there you go.
That works too now. Confirmed. Confirmed. Yeah. There it is. Did you see my tower I put up, Gerald? Did I send you pictures of that, Gerald?
No.
I don't think I sent you pictures of my towie, anywho.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah, I'll have to send you pictures of those. But yeah, I've still got the CB radio and all that shit set up.
Yeah.
Try to start the Clean 19 Club again. Let me see if I can unplug this thing and take you over there and show it to you. I'm going to try to do it. I'm not sure how long the battery is. If we get disconnected, we'll have to reconnect your old. But let me go into my old bedroom here. I don't know if you can See, the old CB is still there, Gerald. There she is. Old Cobra, any 142, anywho, with the amplifier there. Got that still set up. Got my cameras going. Check out my cameras. I can spy the neighbors with that. See? Yeah. Maybe we can get outside, Gerald, and I can show you my tower. I'm going sideways. How about you? Okay, there we are. Let me waddle on through the house. See if I can get outside and see a picture of my tower. I'll try it. If we get disconnected, I'll reconnect. Anywho, not sure how far the Wi-Fi is going to work. Still got a signal. No,
no.
I don't think I'll venture all the way out in the yard, Gerald, but look at the sun. Yeah. Don't know if you can see it in the background here. Where is it?
Yeah.
I'm outside now, Gerald. Let's see if I can focus up here. There it is. See it? Yeah. Put the tower up, Gerald. Got a big base in the backyard. See the tower up there? See the antenna?
Oh, yeah.
How about you? Are we still connected? Did you see it? Yeah. I think we're losing getting a little flake of heart. Now going back through the back, Gerald. Did you see my tower, Gerald? I'll be able to reach you now, 10-4. Fucking hell. Fucking hell. All right, I'll plug back into the household current anywho and see if we can keep the battery recharged, Gerald. And get lots of vibrato on it. You got people over there in England talking like this yet, Gerald?
No. They won't understand.
They don't get our sense of jokes. Yeah. Lame motherfuckers, the time to go to Pig and Pool yet?
Oh, no. I haven't heard that name in a long time, motherfucker.
They still have, motherfucker. We got to go.
Pig and Pool.
Say, motherfucker, you know I found the points for 1984 time diver. I found the right one, but I need the other one.
I'll never forget those two dudes over there.
I remember the big fat one. Say, motherfucker, are you done yet? God damn it, it's hot out here. I gotta go home and go to my bed. Yeah. That's what started it all, Gerald. It started it all.
I saw a big old black woman at the grocery store one time.
Yeah.
She picked up a kiwi fruit. She goes, "You know what this is? This is a monkey."
It's a monkey.
Oh, shit. Why did you have to tell me that for?
And she had to tell it to you, right? She could tell it to nobody else. Gotta hear that again. Yeah. That shit never gets old, Harold.
I think it ever will.
Oh, hell. So what else is news with you? How's life over there in grand old
Well, Ben works nights, so she's crashed out right now. So it's about 8:30 now. 8:30.
Yeah. 6 hours ahead of me. Yeah.
Right. I'm in your future, Dean.
You're in the future, Dean. Yeah, I'm still doing the church organ business. I bought a house down the street to put all my stock and inventory in.
Wow.
So I got all those organs down there, and I've been doing that. So I got 2 houses now, Jared.
Oh, really?
I get tired of being here and just walk 3 houses down and go to that one.
There's three down. Oh.
Yeah, down the street, 3 houses down. Yeah, they. I had a shop where I was working out of over right off Calabria, but that got out by some assholes from Californication. And they started going up on the rent. So this house down the street became available. It's one up from the corner. Mm-hmm. And I went ahead and put some, I said, I want it. So I had them put the tile inside and everything. And I bought it. And now I've put all the organs in there so I can work out of there. That's my shop, motherfucker. So I want to go to work, walk down the street, and hang out there.
Business cards too made up, motherfucker.
Yeah, still fixing our cars, motherfucker.
Still working on cars.
Yeah, still doing that shit. Still got the turd. Still got the Thunderbird. Still got Sanford and Son. Yeah.
Getting more and more classic every year.
I'm an antique now, motherfucker. So that's about it. And I'm still just same old Dean over here, Gerald. Yeah, fucking hair. And I've been getting more into the spirit stuff. Can't say big words. But I got a whole files on my computer for all the metaphysical and tarot and all that stuff. So I got into it late, Gerald, but I finally got into it. So I've been doing my of course my good old tarot cards and stuff, like that.
Yeah,
all that. So I got all my tarot cards, dude. Sure, read my tarot now, Gerald. See what the hell's going on. And I set up my altar and all. Yeah.
I'd recommend looking into non-duality.
What's that?
Non-duality, non-dualism.
Yeah.
I recommend looking into that one.
Yeah.
You'll find a whole.
So, but I mean, I still, I'm still, I don't consider myself religious, but spiritual. I still accept my Catholic upbringing stuff, but I still, I still like this stuff too, because I've learned more about reading about, like, through the Book of Enoch and Brahman and all these different books that I've saved on my computer now. I can read them there. Yeah. And I've learned a lot more about these other energies and other people that lived before and how they did things and how you can get grounded. And now I'd like to get into doing the chakras and stuff. I see you've got the statue back there, and that's some interesting stuff too. So getting into all that also. Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. So I've been learning about different things and all that.
I would recommend looking into non-duality.
Non-duality?
Yeah, look into that. I think.
Yeah, let me look it up on my other computer right now. Non-duality. Oh, fuck. Fuck it. Non-dual awareness, also called pure awareness or pure consciousness, and the non-difference of subject and object, and self-luminous awareness or witness. Yeah. Spirituality. Indian philosophy, religion.
Guys, Tony Parsons, Jim Newman, and Andreas Mueller. Those are speakers on the subject. Of course, I have my own website, and I do recordings, and I have a bunch of recordings on that as well.
Transcendent reality. Okay. Yeah. Send me your website address and go check it out. That'd be cool. Tony Parsons, Jim Newman. Yeah, they're listed up here too. Nathan Gill, Jeff Foster, Gene Klein. Angelfire.com.
That's the one. That's my website.
Oh, so you still got the Angel Fire website?
Yeah, but this one's called the name of the Conjured Self.
Angel Fire.
Conjured Self, motherfucker.
Conjured motherfucker. Well, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, try. I'm typing in and see if my old ass XP computer can find it. I still got XP, motherfucker. This is a Windows 7. It's almost outdated also. Yeah, obsolete old. Yeah. Let's see, Angel Fire. We couldn't find a page you requested. Angelfire.com. Let's see, TX3/Yantra.
Yantra, yeah.
Yantra.
Yantra
OM. Maybe I got to capitalize Yantra.
I don't think it really makes a difference.
Yeah, it does. It makes a difference on here. I had to capitalize and it came up. The Conjured. The Conjured. So. Yeah. And nothing FM. Nothing. There you are. There's a picture of you with your like that. What does that mean?
What's that?
That sign?
Oh, that's this Yantra symbol.
Oh, okay. Cool. Okay, there you are. And the universe is giving you signs every day in your sleep, on your timeline, and your conversations. Yeah, on the radio, in the clouds, and epiphanies. Pay attention to them and piece them together. You will notice a pattern the universe is communicating with you. Yeah, peace should be IEC. Seeker is thought. Cool. Self-conjured, self-action. Richard Ty Trevino has been used to the English as direct communication language. Nice. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a long ass website.
A lot of writing in there, motherfucker.
That's right, motherfucker.
Lots to read.
Lots to read, motherfucker. Yeah, I built my website too for Ethereal Church. Or let me show fuck Oregon. Can't say it. Yeah, let me give you mine. It's not this, so. That's just for the organ stuff. Let me make sure I spelled everything right. Ethereal. I gotta put an extra E in there. Ethereal. Yeah, black people are trying to say it. They're trying to say at the real organs. At the real church organs. No, ethereal. So, yeah, that's my website that I built.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's for church organ stuff. So.
Yeah.
It looked different in that picture without a beard, Gerald. Kind of confusing there. That's cool. So you've got your actual audio files on here too?
Oh, I have my YouTube site.
They have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, YouTube channel as well.
Oh, cool. I'll check that out also.
Under the same name.
Under Richard Ty Trevino? So that's what it's under on YouTube, Richard Ty Trevino?
Yeah, it's under that name. And there ain't no other name like that one.
Yeah, get learn your conscious mind. Big words fuck me up.
They have no idea we're still talking about his ass.
What if he's still alive, motherfucker? We gotta go find his ass. He's probably still wiping his kids' noses and shit, right?
Oh, no. Probably his grandkids now, motherfucker.
And why is it so It's a command about you, motherfucker. I like that response.
What you laughing at?
See, that was just hilarious. That was just having fun. See, bringing all the old characters back, motherfucker. That's what you. So when are you gonna pay me a visit, Gerald?
Shit. If I can afford to travel.
Get a plane ticket, motherfucker. I'll pay for it. You gotta come stay over here. We get in trouble again. We go driving down 14. The guy loses cans again. You go, my cans, my precious cans. I'm still laughing about that shit. Oh, too much shit to remember. But yeah, so well, that's interesting. I'm like I said, I'm like looking into that stuff and been doing a lot more reading now and things like that. So it's been keep me active. And aside from that, I'm still doing my bikey ride. Now it's 40 miles, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get on bike and come back when cows come home.
It's all pavement, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pavement, but you can go off on the field stuff. But what they've done is they've connected it all the way around San Antonio, so I could literally, if I rode that whole trail, it would take hours. It'd be like almost probably like 80 miles or something like that, because from my house up to the Rim and La Cantera, and then I go beyond that now, and it goes up to Eisenhower Park. And if you go to Google Maps,
Eisenhower,
motherfucker, and that's on the north side. And then you keep going, you can go beyond that and come all the way back down, heading south over crossing 281 and all that shit, and you'll end up you'll end up almost at the Missions, motherfucker.
Wow.
So it's a hell of a ride, man. But I'm still doing that. Yeah, I'm still doing that. Trying to keep my weight off, motherfucker. But I still don't forget the Avanti.
Reaction to that, motherfucker.
I'm still overloaded on that, motherfucker. That's why I'm still alive, motherfucker. I've been drinking that and shitting in my grampers there, Gerald. You don't want them all to you, that was a funny story, motherfucker. Oh man. So Sarah, you want to tell me how Bevy's doing? You want to tell me how's that going, baby? Yeah, how's Bevy doing? Yeah.
She's doing okay. Yeah, she's working at Asta. Oh shit, she's been there for nearly 12 years now, something like that.
What's the name of the place?
Asda.
Asda?
Yeah, it's part of Walmart.
Walmart?
Walmart owned.
Oh, okay, cool.
Walmart
So it's like, is it like we got Walmarts over here and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, it's a grocery store. Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Cool.
It's a chain.
Yeah, chain. Yeah. Damn.
And she's working night. She works from 3 a.m. until 9.
3 to 5.
She works 3 a.m. until 9. She works the night shift.
Damn, yeah.
3 to 9.
No wonder why she's in her comfy bed right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good, man. That's shit. That's all you've been doing, just being online and working on your websites and
Yeah.
Doing the work and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
We actually have chats on here as well.
uh-huh.
Organize a Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
well, it's good. It's good to see. You know, I tried to do this shit with this XP computer, and Zoom has gotten so far advanced. It's hard. I used to be able to log on with my computer just with audio. And Rogers, when we're having that flu going around, they were doing all their dealer meetings over Zoom. So then I started using this Windows 7 computer, and it works fine, but it's going to be obsoleted pretty quick. So I need to, you know, I've got to find a way. I'd like to find a way to update my my XP computer, maybe to Windows 8 at least. But I'm gonna eventually I'm gonna have to break down and buy a Windows 10 or 11.
11.
7-Eleven. I didn't forget that shit. I got other people saying 11 too, man.
Got everybody.
Quite catchy. I get this one younger guy I've kind of mentoring. I got him saying 11 also, and my mom and all that shit. Got him doing that shit too, man. I gotta keep it going, Jack. Keep it going, damn it. Keep it going. I figured I'll let break off. But yeah, so but you got to get 11 is what it's at now. So I'll probably get a new computer for that eventually when this one quits working. But yeah, so that's all I've been doing, just that and work and making money and getting older, I think. About all. I think I started talking to my sister Carmen again finally. And her kids have got kids now. Yeah, 60.
60 this year, motherfucker.
Yeah, oh, motherfucker. I'm 53, anywho. I was 52, anywho, last year. I'm 7 years behind you. So I gotta say, top of the internet to you, Gerald. Our first meeting. You got I got your first, Gerald. Got your first. Still got you at top of the millennium to you. You weren't able to top that yet.
Top of the millennium.
You're gonna give me a top of the afterlife to you, motherfucker.
Top of the afterlife. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all I've been doing. Just staying active and doing the same old shit. That's about it. And just getting older. That's all.
Non-duality is about, Dean.
Gotta look it up, Gerald. Gotta get involved.
Even when you find out, though, Dean.
Am I gonna soil myself, Gerald? Is that what you're trying to say?
I don't think so, but
gonna have an Ovaltine moment, Gerald? Yeah, I'm gonna start looking into that because that seems interesting. Seems like my cons. I thought, yeah, what I like. Yeah, they got on Wikipedia too. Let's see what they got to say about it.
It's non-separation. No, can't say.
Seer and seen, or non-difference of subject and object. You know, so is this going into like what's the word I'm looking for? I was studying this concept of detachment almost. Is it all on the same lines?
Yeah. Shit, we gotta get a kick out of this. There. Try saying that one, FM. Infinitudinal.
Infinitude. Fuck it. Too hard. Complexification.
mistyped infinitudinal, but that's it.
Infinitesimal.
Infinitudinal complexification.
Getting too hard for my brain.
So in other words, what we see is just it's just conjured, it just appears. It's just an appearance is all it is.
You're talking about the Matrix, Gerald? Matrix, Gerald?
It could be construed that way. Some people may observe it.
But are we talking about that what we're seeing is not a reality, or you're saying it's like it's
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what we see is just showing up. It's just an appearance. So the visual field is just an appearance. So there, visual field is just an appearance, right?
Okay.
And there is no specific location anywhere. In other words, you're not there and I'm not here, because my here could be considered you're there, and then you're there could be considered my here, but there is neither. There's neither here or there. There's just everywhereness. So that's what makes this message so unique, is it's not referring to any particular person, because these are just bodies that are appearing. So, this is where it gets really interesting, because there is no beginning and there's no end. There's Alpha and Omega.
Right.
There's no beginning and no end to anything. And that's getting way down to the fundamentals of, in a sense, you could say, of reality. Fundamentals of reality. That's just the baseline. And
well, if there is no beginning and no end, then things
to
just
anything.
exist.
Right. So if that's the case, that also means that nobody's born and nobody dies. You see, now that's a tough one for people to catch. The mind can't comprehend that. How can there be no beginning when I was born, and how can there be no end when a person dies? But it's just, we're talking about a person. But there are no people. See, that's the thing. So we're appearances of bodies, but these names we give ourselves, it's just knowledge. It's just known. It's just taken subjectively, and it's just learned information. So somewhere around the neighborhood of maybe about 2 years, something like that, a sense of a separate self develops. In other words, you feel as though you're in your own body. You have your own mind, your body. This is, your arms, your hands, and then you get acquainted with that.
Self-aware.
That's learned. Yeah, just self-awareness, and you just learn that. But that was a process of learning. But what was known before that was not known. That was not known before it began to become a learned response, or a knowledge base. So a knowledge base forms, and then we start claiming things as our own, like, my house, my car, my this, my that. Right. But once you start dropping all these pronouns like mine or I or me, then you begin to recognize that the essence that you are is back here somewhere, and that the foreground, everything that you see everywhere, there's no separation. It's all tethered. It's all combined. It's coalesced. It's mixed, always in constant motion. So in other words, we could say always, all ways. So any way that can be conceived And even those that cannot be conceived is the way that it appears. So everything that appears is an appearance, but there's also that which is unknown. So there's that which is known and unknown, seen and unseen, real and unreal. So that's what non-duality is about. It's about recognizing that everything is no thing and no thing is everything. Everything is no thing and no thing is everything. So it gets kind of play with words like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no real definitive definition. There's no finality to any of it. It's just it's parameterless. There's no parameters, no boundaries. It's just like light and darkness. There's no seam. There's no dividing line. It's all combined. It's all together. It's always been that way. And so that's what non-duality is all about. No separation.
Okay.
Not two of anything. Nothing stands alone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the message that that is shared, and that's the way it's always been. It's always been continuous, and it'll never end. It's like the never-ending story, so to speak.
Oh.
Just like that movie, sort of.
That's
Never-ending.
that's pretty deep, Gerald. Going down the rabbit hole, are we, Gerald?
That rabbit hole doesn't have an end.
Black hole rabbit hole in here.
Right, indeed. Exactly.
Well, so then if you're not born and you're not die, well, that covers the immortal soul, basically. That's what that's.
In a sense, you could say that we have some type of essence, and some people would refer that as a soul, but it has no boundaries, no parameters. It's just kind of like a radiance, like a ball of light or an energy. Energy of light. Energy. It's an energetic movement, in other words. But it's beyond words. It's beyond language. What we truly are, and so that's why it's so difficult to talk about. So it's so hard to put into words, and because there really is no real meaning to it. We're trying to find meaning behind nothing. How can you find meaning about nothing? Because nothing is everything.
This is definitely up to the next. Definitely up to the next level.
Yeah.
A few levels.
But there are no levels. See, that's the thing. We talk about levels, and we can discuss certain parameters, but there are no parameters. See, that's the thing. So we have to figure out how we're going to discuss that subject if that's not brought up. So that's the way it's discussed. The message is brought up that way to say everything's just an appearance. It's apparently appearing. It's just an apparent appearance. Now, it's the infinite that's appearing finite. So the infinitesimal expression of the infinite appears because it's finitely appearing. A finite appearance of something has limitation. It has a certain timeline because there really is no time. Now, there's a saying that goes, "In this world, but not of this world." I mean, Christ even spoke of this non-duality. He even spoke of that. He said, "You're in the world, but you're not of it." So that's what that exactly means. We're in this world, this temporary realm that appears, it's an apparent appearance, but we're not of it. So if we're not of it, that means we're not from it, and it's just temporary. So it's temporal. Temporary. Temporal appearance. And so everything's just an appearance. It always has been that way and always will be that way. So that's the message that I kind of share, and it gets you to really contemplate. Contemplation and even meditative practices will help to dig deeper into thinking about that subject. And then after a while, you begin to notice a collapse of all these boundaries and these parameters that we placed upon all these subjects that we talk about, these subjects of my this, my that, and belonging and a sense of belonging. It's all conjured.
Mhm.
We conjure these things for ourselves, and then we see individuality, and then we name with the birth certificate. We use that as a form of reference, a point of reference. Has all our
Right.
information on the birth certificate, and then there's a death certificate. So there's a beginning and an end. But again, there is no beginning to anything. There is no end to anything, and that's just a type of philosophy, I guess you could say, a type of philosophy that's used whenever we're discussing this subject of non-duality. So that's what non-dualism is all about. Non-duality is about that.
Is this similar to the yin and yang principle with the?
Sort of, kind of, yeah,
Okay.
kind of the light and the darkness. But see, the yin and yang is talking about the duality of things, positive and negative,
Right.
positive charge and negative charge. If there's a positive charge of something, there must be an equivalent negative charge. But
Right.
that's simply referring to the duality of things. But the duality of things is temporary. It's temporally temporary because time. We throw in the element of time. So, but there really is no time. There's no succession of events. In other words, past, present, future. There is no past. There's only presence and only now, and there is no future. But that's where our mind takes us. Now, when I say our mind, well, most people say, "Well, I have a mind of my own," when you really don't. But we learn that. We learn to say, "Well, this is my mind because this is my head, it's my brain, it's my body."
Right.
But when you drop the personal me and mine, then what are you left with? Well, you're just simply left with a body. And so what's behind it, in other words, uh, what is looking, whatever what you're looking for is on behalf of the body. In other words, there's something back here, you can't get to it and you can't see it, but it's back there somewhere. And that's not even a point of reference. So trying to pinpoint is like pointing in the air, pointing in the sky. You
Mhm.
can't you can't really localize the individual. So it has to be conjured, and it is. So it's conjured that there's an individual here in this body, and it's me, and this is my body. And so that's the way an individual has learned to negotiate a life. And they say, "Well, I have my life." No, it's just simply a life, but we personalize it.
Right.
So we take things personal, and that's kind of how it turns, and it turns and revolves that way, where an individual has a life of their own, and then they have a story. So they're all just stories, really. Everybody has a story to tell, like once upon a time, sort of thing. And that's not how it really is, but that's the way it's learned.
Mhm.
So people learn these things this way, and it becomes common knowledge, and then they're discussed.
Right.
And so these subjects are discussed that way, and then that's how it continues on. But once it's noticed, once the once a person notices that the body that they thought was theirs is just simply a body, but it's not their own. When that falls away and collapses, then the kind of a epiphany, sort of, or an awakening happens. Well, that's what's referred to as enlightenment.
Right.
And and then once that is recognized, you cannot go back to say, well, this is my body, and the appearance of the world is separate from me, And if I go to the next room, I'm going over there. But there is no location of here and there. There really never was. It's just an appearance of here and there. So everything that's apparently appearing is just that alone. It's just an appearance. But we learn otherwise. We learn these things to say, well, no, I cannot see it any other way. I see it as my life, and it's my body, and it's my things that I have, and that's what I've always known. And
Right.
so it's that knowledge base. Once that knowledge base collapses and you drop the knowledge base, what are you left with? You're left with everything. See, and there's a type of a sense of freedom unlike any other. It's very, very liberating. It's extremely liberating.
Mm-hmm.
But to reach that point of admitting, if one could admit that to oneself, then you recognize that the self was conjured. And once
Mm-hmm.
that recognized that the self was conjured, then anything's possible. Then everything's possible. And then there's no need to fear death anymore, because there is no death. so it's so difficult to comprehend and understand that, because it's kind of new. It's very new to most people that really haven't looked at the reality in that way. We see reality as personalized. We personalize everything that we see with our eyes. Now we say that these are our eyes that we're looking through, but they're just simply eyes of a body mind. And it's a body mind complex, and that's all it is. But so what's looking is what you're looking for. So that's another non-duality saying. What's looking is what you're looking for. So in other words, what's looking through the eyes of the body mind is what you're using the visual field for on behalf of the body mind. But it's just on behalf of the body mind temporarily visually seen. And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it right there. I mean, and it stops there and it ends there. And once that's recognized, then a person cannot really go back and say, well, wait a minute. I always believed that I was an individual. I believed that these are my eyes and this is my mind that I used to think. And then there's that saying, I think, therefore I am.
Right.
Well, well, if you try to break that down, you recognize that, well, wait a minute, what's thinking? So the mind of the body mind is thinking thoughts. They're just thoughts. They're just thinking about them, but they're not their own. See, I don't have my thoughts. They're just thoughts of a body mind. So that's the way to try to recognize what this message is saying. This message is saying that. It's saying, yes, there are thoughts and there is a mind, but that's all it is. It's not anybody's mind. It's
Mm-hmm.
just a body mind that's apparently appearing. And so since it's appearing and it's visibly observable in mirrors, and then if we're to stand before a mirror and we see the body mind and the face, and we think in terms of, well, that's my face because that's
Mm-hmm.
familiar to me, and that body is my body. So, but that association right there, once that's dropped, what are you left with?
Mm-hmm.
Everything, and so it's so it's so mind-boggling. It's really awesome when you start considering that and thinking in terms of no more separation. You're not thinking of separate in terms of a separate body, a separate mind. It's just an appearance of one, but the appearances are all combined. The appearance of everything. Everything's appearing, apparently appearing, but there's no
Mm-hmm.
separation. There's no distance. There's no here or there, or even further on. There's not even a three-dimensional realm. It just apparently appears to be dimensions.
Mhm.
So, so that's kind of what we're wrestling with when we refer to non-duality when we're talking about this message. And it's really fascinating when you start thinking about it and considering it and talk about it. But then see if we consider those things, then everything that we've learned, everything that we read, which is simply a knowledge base, and they're just simply words and they're books and they're stories that are told. But that's all they are. They're just stories that are told of timelines of the past. And there really is no there really is no weight to it. I mean, there's not even a significance there. But to most people it is. To
Yeah.
people as an individual, as a person, as a conjured self, that's important to that person. So the books that I'm reading are important to me. So see, when we say they're important to me, that's the me that I believe that I am. See,
Okay.
I believe that I'm me, and I have my own life to live, and I have my own thoughts I'm thinking about, and that's what people think that way in terms of mine, of possessions, and they never really consider anything other than that. But once it is considered, then you wonder, start contemplating, start thinking about it. But it's nothing to worry about. It's just the way things are. Things are really appearing that way, and they really are just apparent appearances. So that's what I stumbled across when I stumbled across this non-duality message, and I started looking into it. And I started listening. People like Tony Parsons are talking about it, and that Tony Parsons, that's just a name, but that's the name of that person that I mean, he even admits to himself there was Tony Parsons walking in the park, and then one day there was just a person walking in the park, but he wasn't recognizing that as his own body mind. It's just a body walking in the park, and it's just appearing that way. And
Mhm.
so he refers to that in that way, uh, talking about himself. And so does Jim Newman. Jim Newman doesn't recognize that he's an individual. He's not an individual. It's just the name that he was given, and it's just a birth certificate, and that's just the information that's on there. But that's just it. So, and there's very few speakers that are referring to this message in that way, in that respect. But when you hear this message for the first time, it doesn't really make any sense. It doesn't, and it never will, because the individual thinks in terms of personalizing, personal uh, individuality, and it's
Mhm.
separate sense of self. In other words, a separate
Right.
sense of self is very strong with individuals, and so that's the way most people think. They think in terms of individuals and people and personages, and names and stories, and that's it. But it's not really that way.
Mhm.
It's so difficult to speak of these things, especially if you've never really heard about it. If you really haven't heard about it,
Well,
if you heard about it for the first time, then
I've heard a little bit about. I mean, in some of the Judaism I've been reading about, there is a line of not that's non-dualistic that they touch on that,
yeah,
and the infinite nothingness,
yeah,
and things like that. There is that, there's a in that ancient mystical tradition, they have that. And I know that Judaism speaks about, different religions speak about that, but it's not, it's something that you really have to dig
mhm,
into to find and get more information on if you really want to figure it out. But I know it mentions like God is beyond proposition or preconception.
oh yeah, the absolute. I mean, there's how do you refer to infinity and an infinite mind? It would take an infinite mind to understand an infinite mind, but
Right.
we only think in terms of finiteness. you know, because that's all we're aware of. We're only going to be able to recognize whatever the mind is sending us, whatever messages that we're receiving from the mind. That's all we're going to be able to process. We can't process anything beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a beyond space and time, and we are more than just these appearances. So we're in the world, we're in this world, in this realm. It apparently appears to be in this world, but we're not of it. So if that's the case, then what are we left with? See, so if you contemplate these things that way, contemplation can go so far, but it just keeps going now. Once you try to find the end of it, you can't. You're trying to find a subset of information and say, okay, well, there's this information right here, and that's encompasses exactly what we're talking about, but it goes beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so difficult to speak of, but at the same time, we can speak of it, but it's not even worth mentioning. It's so elusive. It's real and unreal. It's both.
It's like, well, it's like quantum mechanics and things like that. You know, trying to understand this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look at the double slit experiment. You know, you throw protons through two slits, and then at the end there's this partition and particles. So when does it appear as a particle or a wave? Well, the wave is broken down, and then it appears as particles. It appears as particles because it's an observer.
Yeah.
Take the observer away, and what happens? Well, the particle just continues.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's an observable, somebody observing that, then it turns into a wave. The particle turns into a wave. So it's kind of unusual. It's the very act of observance that changes the appearance of reality. See, once we observe something, we've kind of interfered with what's appearing.
Yeah, so that's the thing about going back in time. Even if you went back and as an observer, you didn't mess with anything, you'd still be changing it just by going back and observing.
Yeah.
You know, into time travel, they're saying.
Yeah, and we think
in
terms of, well, there must be fixed positions, and there must be a timeline that we can travel back and follow a trail.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a conceptual concept. That's a subjective concept that's thought about that way. But there really isn't a past that has follows a procession of time. But it's just thought about that way. So we think about it in terms of that. Then of course, books can be written about it, and we can read about such things. But that's also unreal. It's not really, you know. So it's so strange. It's both real and unreal.
Is that the same thing as the experiment or the premise or whatever you want to call it with the cat that's alive and dead both outside the box?
Schrodinger's.
Yeah.
Schrodinger's cat. Yeah. Is it what's it, Schrodinger or Schroeder, or what's it called? Something Schroeder. Schroeder's cat. Is it Schrodinger or Schroeder? I can't remember, but is the cat in the box? Is it dead or is it alive?
Yeah, you're right. Schrodinger's cat.
Yeah, that's the one.
Position, poison, plays a sealed box, internal monitor. The cat's alive and dead at the same time in quantum mechanics.
Right.
Quantum superposition.
So we start looking into these kind of unusual theories and these things that they apparently appear to be that way, but it's kind of it's just eerie. It's unusual. It doesn't make any sense. But yet it's not meant to. It's just it's just appearing that particular way, but for no apparent reason. There's no real reason, meaning, and purpose to anything, actually. Everything that apparently appears is just an appearance, again, of everything appearing, and nothing is final. There's no finality to anything. So in other words, everything is perfect just as it appears to be. So however anything appears, it's perfect just the way it is. We can't remove anything from it, and we can't add anything to it. So we can't add anything new, and we can't take away from it. It's just appearing perfectly, just as it appears, just as it is, as it appears to be. And so, and it's always like that, all the time, always, it's always like that, and it doesn't end. It never ends. It's the Alpha and Omega, and that's it.
Right.
So we go on and on. I mean, we could just jump and dive into any subject at any time, any point in time, discuss that, talk about that for a while, and then leave it alone, and then come back to it. It doesn't matter if we touch upon that subject again or if we don't. They're just all stories. So all these stories that are conjured, we talk about them. There's subjects to talk about, and it has certain parameters or certain limitation of information that we can process. But that's it. That's just the way it always apparently appears to be. And I know I just hear myself speaking about these things, and I know that I'm talking about them, but at the same time, I recognize that it's just after a certain point, it starts to sound unbelievable, and then it becomes information that's unknowable. So
Right.
there's only so much information that we can know about, and then there's information that's unknowable. There's a lot of things that we don't know that are unknown to us. Like, is there an afterlife? Well, no one really knows because no one's come back to tell about it.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? Well, we'll just have to wait and find out.
I want to know now.
Yeah, I know. I want to know now. I want to. So people are still continuing to look into it and to try to find out. Well, there's these near-death experiences. What is that about? And so that's a subject that's always looked into, but never really reached an end or a finality to that. The death experience, because it's near death, but it's not a final death. It's near death. But you see, talking about death in those terms, again, there really isn't any death, but it's just a subject. The subject of death is just that. It's just subjective information that's talked about. But that's as far as it goes. It can't go any further than that. And so it remains a mystery, and always will be a mystery. So that's what's really fascinating about that subject. We could just continue to guess and think, well, there might be, might not. We don't know, one way or the other. We don't know if there is an afterlife. We hope there is. There's some people that really hope that that's true, and so they start looking into near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences, and some people claim to have had them, out-of-body experiences. Yeah, and they seem so real, yet, but they don't understand, how can that happen? How can it happen that I feel like I'm levitating in my body, and yet I awaken and I see my surroundings as the same. But in the out-of-body experience, it's as though we're floating. We're floating outside our body, and we're looking down, and we see our body there. But how is that possible? So there's that type of experience that's unexplainable. It's so unusual, Yet it does happen. Why does it happen? No one knows. Doesn't really seem to be a purpose or a reason for it, but yet it happens. So
does this also go into the multiverse theories and things like that?
yeah, that there's more than one dimension, and there's probably innumerable ones.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably a whole series of dimensions that we're unaware of. We're only aware of a very narrow, thin band of reality, if you think about it. And
Yeah.
it's true. That which contains light, that which is visible in our visual field, is a narrow band of reality. There's microwave, there's what is there's another band. There's different bands, right? There's microwave, there's what's the other one?
There's infrared, there's
That's
X-ray.
it, infrared, that's it. Infrared, right? There's microwave, and there's all these other bands that they apparently exist, and we can recognize that. We have sideband radio. We can hear transmissions, and we have numbers on a transceiver. We could tune into them.
Yeah.
But that's just amazing how that works. That we can actually modulate a voice through these other bandwidths, these other bands like that. And so there's where we start getting into other realities and how we can operate on them, but we don't really understand how it works. It just does. It just works as it does with the CB radio and things like that.
Well, understanding amplitude modulation and frequency modulation is a hell of a lot easier than trying to understand this. This is too complicated. How the cat can be alive and dead at the same time in two different universes. That gets crazy, motherfucker.
That's right, exactly. So there's those things to consider, and it just doesn't make any sense. It won't make any sense, but yet there it is. So those are the kind of things that we'll talk about, but then when we discuss them, and then there's not much else to go after that. There's nowhere else really no other than saying these statements. And so that's kind of the simplicity of non-duality, is that there's no separation of anything. Nothing stands alone. Everything is nothing. Nothing's everything. It's real and unreal, observable and observable, unknowable and knowable. It's both combined, coalesced all together. And that's it. And that's, what more can you say about that? That's pretty much it right there.
That's all I got to say about that, Jed.
That's all I got to say about that. But then again, that's continuing on and on. I mean, what more can you say about it?
I need to brush up on your website there, Gerald, and try to figure out what the hell this is all about.
It's something else, really.
Ass competent hard. Yeah.
It really is, yeah. But it's amazing. It's very simple, but at the same time, it seems so complex.
It's like miles above everyone's thinking. Nobody thinks in these terms. They're just like, how much money am I going to make? What am I going to do with that? And
yeah,
they're just so. I've seen that a lot now. It's like they're just so materialistic, or they're just living in some below world. Nobody even looks up anymore. They're all looking like in their phones like this.
Yeah, they're self-absorbed.
Yeah. They're like a diaper, self-absorbed and full of shit,
Yeah, well, that's one way of looking at it, but that's just how it appears to be.
They drive me crazy, Gerald.
Exactly.
But it's just weird that they're on a journey, but they don't even realize it. It's like,
Oh
It's
yeah,
crazy.
we're all definitely on a journey, and it's just an amazing experience when you look really observe and look deeply into this reality that's around us. It's just unexplainable.
Yeah.
It's amazing how everything appears as though it's separate. I look at an object and I pick it up and I hold it in my hand and I'm thinking, am I holding this object that I, placed in my hand? And I'm thinking, well, this my hand? No, it's just a hand. It's a hand of a body mind. But see, if if I cannot know if I can no longer speak in terms of personalizing everything that I think is real, I can no longer go back to that. I mean, I'm serious. I don't even think in terms of me, mine, my own, and it's just a, such a different way of looking at the world. It's looking at the world as though it's with new eyes, but it's every day it's renewed. Every moment, in fact, every moment in time, it's renewed, and you look at things and you're just fascinated at all the different objects that you can gaze upon, and
Mhm.
it's just amazing. It's incredible. But at the same time, nobody really looks at things that way. They just see objects, and they see a cup, and okay, that's my cup. I have my coffee in there. I'm gonna drink that, and they put it down, and that's it. They don't give it a second thought. But if you really think in terms of, and really deeply think in terms of thoughts and ideas, but not as your own, but just focusing and meditating on things, it's just amazing how far those thoughts can go. Thoughts
Right.
can really go a long way, and that's kind of scary to some people, but to people like us, it's just it's second nature. Really, it's something that we look into, but we can't quite explain. We don't know how to just to say, well, this is this way and that's that way and that's the finality. And no, there's nothing concrete. There's nothing final. There's just no end. There's no end to anything really.
It never ends.
That's right. It never ends and it never will.
It never will.
Never will. That's what's incredible about reality.
It's too hard. I can't wrap my brain around.
Yeah.
it.
So we're thinking my brain. See, when we think in terms of my brain, but there it is again. See, we're thinking my mind, my brain, my body, and this is the way that I've always thought about myself. But you see, that's not really true. If I can no longer say that and no longer admit it, and I can't no longer admit to say, well, I'm my own person. I was born, and I'm going to die one day, and that doesn't really make any sense anymore, as it once might have. It might have made sense years ago, but now it really doesn't. Now I reached a point of where no, no, that doesn't even make any sense anymore. It doesn't. So I won't even go there. I won't even talk about it because it's just unreal to me now. Um, when I say unreal to me, it's not unreal to me. It's just an unreal thought or an unreal idea. And so once you start dropping all these personal pronouns like mine, me, my, you know, us, we, I, our, and when you drop all those, what are you left with? Well, this just what apparently appears is a body mind complex, and that's it. These are just appearances, and so we talk about it in that way, and that's what how a non-duality speech is all about. Non-duality speech is referring to things that are in a kind of in a third person, so to speak. There's a body mind there. Uh, he has a name. It's a birth certificate, but that's what that is. That's all that is. So you look in the mirror and you say, well, is that me in that mirror? Well, I used to think that that was me. That was my face, and but it's constantly changing, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
constantly changing, and you think about it, that's these are molecules. I mean, these are cells. These are living cells. They're constantly dying, and then new ones being reborn. But this is constant birth and death, and there's no parameters to it. That's so freaky, isn't it? It's so unusual that that we are seen that way. We observe and we think that, well, I'm alive, I'm speaking, I hear my voice coming through this, you know, my vocal cords, and I'm enunciating words, and they make sense. It's the English language I'm speaking. But what about
Mhm.
all the other languages that are spoken? What's to say about those? So, then you get to that point of where, yeah, that's true. It really is true. We're speaking an English language here. This is one language we're communicating. We understand, and we can comprehend what is being said, what is being
Right.
stated. But what about if that this English was not our first language? What if it was Spanish or French or some other language other than this? So then it goes that way as well, where we can discuss things in other languages, but it just goes on and on that way. It goes on and on like that.
It was on forever, Gerald.
Yeah, and then what about this matrix? What about the ones and zeros?
Yeah.
What about code? Things like that. What's that all about? And so there are some physicists that believe we are actually living in a matrix. We could be living in a computer program right now. We may not even be aware of it,
Mhm.
but it apparently appears to be that way. And even some physicists have actually examined the the uh, the mathematical equations that are extrapolated that come out of the DNA and codes and things like that. And then and then this one physicist talks about he found ones and zeros in a code about the reality frame that we believe that we're existing upon. And it
Mhm.
gets really deep when he starts talking about things like that. Uh, I can't remember his name is Childers, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Childers talks about this reality as though it's kind of a simulation. Simulation is a matrix, and it just goes on and on that way.
Oh,
It's
hold that thought for a second. I gotta go pee. And he
okay. That's all right. That's
I'll be
okay.
right back.
Yeah.
Hold on, Gerald.
All right.
I'm coming. Hold on. Anywho. Ow, where did you go?
Yeah, I had to use the restroom as well.
I had to play hide and go league too, eh, Gerald?
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's better.
Better.
2, 3, 5. Yeah, that was till I think it was around 2016 when this shift happened in terms of seeing things in this kind of new way, so to speak, in a different way, but no longer able to go back and thinking in those terms of mine, my own, my possessions. I can no longer see things that way. I see things as though, yes, there's apparent appearances of everything, and everything that appears are just that. It's just that. It's just the appearance of this. And this is incredible. It's amazing that it appears the way that it does. How it does is unexplainable. Nobody knows how everything's appearing as it does. And apparently. And there's no real space and time. There's the appearance of space and time. That's the finitudinal side of things that are finite and that have parameters, and and we could discuss that and talk about that, but then when we break that down, and we can also recognize at the same time, well, there are no parameters. There is no space and time. It's everywhere. There's not a here, there, or that place or this place. It's everywhere. Everywhereness.
Mm-hmm.
And so I try to go back and think, well, no, I have thoughts of my own thoughts. I have my body that I'm aware of. And think, no, I can't think like that anymore. I try to go back. I really do. I really try to go back and think in terms of, well, yeah, okay. I know I did this sort of thing, this, that, or the other yesterday. I can have a memory of it, but that's just what's apparently appearing. There's a memory of the past, a past that we think we did, but did we really do it? We really didn't do anything in the past. There's only an eternal, ever-present now, but there's the next now, and this now. It's every second, every moment is a constant, continual new. It's new. It's everything is renewed again, and another second goes by, and that's renewed. And that's renewed, and it never really stops anywhere. It doesn't really end. I mean, the radiance of the body mind and all the cells, and it's just amazing, incredible how all this action is going on.
Yeah.
The body mind is breathing on its own, and check that out too. I mean, these are involuntary responses that are automatic. We don't think about breathing in, breathing out, or the heartbeat. Okay, come on, beat a heartbeat one time, another time. Go ahead. No, we don't even think of that. We don't think in terms of our heart beating and our breathing. Those are automatic responses. And so the way that automates on its own is, and once that's recognized, then we notice that, okay, well, I'm noticing what's happening to that body mind. And as if I witness it from back here somewhere, and then I'm looking through the eyes of the body mind, and I'm seeing a visual field, but that's it. That's just something I'm taking for granted.
Yeah.
So much is taken for granted, and that's something that if you really look into it, that's kind of what's really happening. We're taking so much for granted, yet it just continues on that way. It just appears as it does. There's no reason, meaning, or purpose for this volition. This volition that we feel that we have a free will. That's another thing. Do we actually have a free will?
Mm-hmm.
Well, are we freely, are we willing, freely willing to breathe as we do, and our heartbeat? No, the heart beats on its own, and the breathing of the lungs, that happens on its own as well. There's no free will in that. That's an automated response. And so once we look into the things like that, then we notice, okay, I really don't have a free will, do I? I never really did. What I thought was a free will was making these choices. That I do have a choice to get up and go to the next room and take care of whatever I need to do over there, and then come back. But I don't always think about it in terms of that way. In terms of well, I'm going to really give it some deep thought. We don't really have to give these choices that we're making. We don't really have to give it that much, that effort of thinking in terms of thinking about these
Right.
actions that we're taking. Yeah, thinking about those actions that we take. Um, so when we look into things that we don't really give much thought, then it begins to make sense. Well, uh, I thought I had a free will, but it's really not. I really don't have a free will. Well, if I don't have free will, then what is there? Then what is that then? If there is no free will of my own, well, there's just a will. And if you have a will, well, you might as well exert it. So if you feel you're going to exert a will, then that's what you're doing. But there really isn't. There
Mm-hmm.
really isn't a free will to exert, because everything's just apparently appearing as it does. It's going to appear regardless of what we do about it. We're not going to be able to do and change anything that appears before us. It's just going to appear as it does, and the environment and the weather is going to continue on. And what we notice, as seconds go by, minutes go by, the time that's apparently appearing. We look at a clock, we see the dials of the hands moving, and that's just something we also take that for granted as well. And that's the reality that we've learned to accept and cope with, and we learn about that. But but once we look really deeply into it, it really doesn't matter at the same time. It matters to us because it seems like, well, there's a timeline, and there's a certain time that I need to do certain things, and I have a schedule to follow. If I don't follow that schedule, then I'm not going to be where I need to be. And so we start thinking in terms of that. Well, there's business that we have to take care of. Sure, there's a place that we need to live. There's this place, this address that we have, is the same house that I've been going to since 2013. By the way,
Mm-hmm.
2013 is when I moved into this house that I'm in now, and it's 2023. And after all these years, I'm still here, continuing, you know, to do the same thing that I've done. And it works. It's been working. So if something works, may as well follow that. Well, what is that? Well, we just follow a natural progression of things that we do. Uh, we if we get hungry, we go eat, and We need to use the restroom, use the restroom. You sleep. There's a time for that. The
Well,
time and place.
that's going into causality.
Yeah, that's causality, sure. But that causality is there a free will that we're exerting there? Are we freely doing that? Sure. In a sense, we are. We're exerting a will of our own that we believe we have. If I believe I have a will of my own, then I'm going to exert it, and so that's familiar to me, and so
But
that's how.
that's an illusion.
Yeah,
The whole
exactly.
the whole thing of free will is an illusion. I mean, you
Yeah,
know, everything has consequences. You can choose to go to work or you can choose to stay home. But if you go to work, you make money. If you stay home, you have no money. So it all has consequences. But
yeah,
is free will really free will? And that's what the whole matrix idea talks about. It's like free will is just another form of control. If people think they have free will or they assume they have free will, they can have the freedom to do what they want,
yeah,
even if it's on a subconscious level. They're more
yeah.
likely to be happy and accept their reality than if they have come to the conclusion they have no free will and are just a victim of whatever. You
Right.
know, that's
Yeah,
that's that's the truth of the matter.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
we
the
know
old
it.
saying, you can't mess with free will. It's like, well, what is free will? You know,
Right.
I mean, the fact that you're here in this realm and you cannot leave it, that's a form of confinement. That's a form of a prison,
Yeah.
because we can't travel ahead in time. We can't travel back in time. We are separated by distances. So you're still, you know, in a form of it's still a form of control, even though you have free will. Free will in itself is a form of control. So
But if we think in terms of distance, is there really distance from here to there? Well, yeah, there's mileage. There seems to be distance in terms of feet. There's a few feet ahead of me. There's a few feet behind me, and all around there's distance in things that I look upon, I gaze upon, and I see that there's a wall there. Well, I know there's a wall there. I touch the wall with my hand, and I feel
mhm.
the solid wall. So that is a wall. That's a wall that's there. Okay, so I have to believe the wall is there because that's the evidence that proves that wall is real to me because I
All
feel the
through
wall.
touch and sight and feel. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that's that sense of confinement you're referring to, but that's the extent of it. The extent of the imprisonment is based on what our senses are telling us. Our senses are telling us, well, we have certain parameters of things and objects that are around us, and they all have a form. They all have a form. And they take on an appearance of a form, and there's different elements that it's made of. This is some is metal, some is plastic, some is made of cloth. There's plastics, cloths, and there's different types of things that appear solid, and so we just become accustomed to that, to believe that these things have these forms, and we name them. So everything that we see, we have a name for it, and it just goes on and on like that. And that's how we negotiate our reality. We can negotiate our
Yeah.
reality based on what we see. So whatever we see and whatever we can hold in our hands, and that's real to us, that's real. The reality is what we can feel and sense, and that's the extent of it. But there's so much more to it than that, isn't there? There's so much more even beyond the senses. But we don't give that much thought. We don't really have to give it that much thought. We just go based on what's tangible, what we hold, things that we're familiar with, our knowledge base, and that's the extent of it. But if we try to expand on our knowledge base, well, what happens then? Well, yeah, we can expand on our knowledge base by reading new books, reading new information, new knowledge, and taking that in, and that's, in a sense, that's kind of entertaining. It's entertaining to the mind. The mind gets entertained if it learns new things. learning something new. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you're learning something, a new subject. So pick up another book. We look into subjects. We read about it. It's a story about that subject, that particular subject, and that's it. That's what we go based on. Go on and on after that, and don't give that a second thought as well. But it all works. It all seems familiar. And it seems like the longer that we live, the longer that we're around, the more complacent we kind of appear to be. We kind of feel, we kind of seem kind of complacent about things because then, well, yeah, it's nothing really new to me. I've already seen that. Yeah, I've already witnessed a day filled with these things that I see familiar around me, and that's nothing new.
Right.
There's nothing new, is there? Well, what do I expect? How do I expect anything newer than what's already been seen? What already exists before me, and so you go on to the next day, and then it's okay. Well, then there's that too, and there's nothing new beyond that, and so you just go on and on that way. And it's so peculiar, isn't it? We just wonder, well, is it ever going to change? Is anything ever going to change? Is anything new ever going to happen? Well, what do we expect to happen? You know, what else is there? Is there more to life than just what we see, what we witness? Well, sure there is, but it's not apprehendable. We can't apprehend it. If we can't apprehend it, we can think about it, give it a little bit of a little thought to consider it, but that's it. So then we go into our imagination, and then we start imagining things, and then we go into the dream world, and we dream about certain things, and what if this and what if that? Could be this way, could be that way. Well, that's all right too. But yeah, what more do we expect? What more do we want?
Well, that just goes down to the age-old question: why?
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes there isn't a why though to things. Certain things don't even have a why. They just are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we leave it at that.
I like to get to the bottom of things, Gerald.
Yeah, you want to figure it out. What's
You
something?
got to know the answer, Gerald. It's got a piece of glass in my brain. I got to scratch it. You got to figure it out. You know.
Yeah, but what if you can't? What if there's certain things that you cannot figure out? As though, yeah,
trying to be sneaky, oh fuck off. Yeah. Now that that these concepts are just they really delve into the a whole, they go off of a whole different range of disciplines, and it's just trying to explain how things don't really exist, and that's your mind is, or a mind is used to seeing the reality on their terms and how we see it, and then it gets to the point we don't see it the same way anymore, and just kind of mess up your head, or you're trying to tell somebody, trying to wake them up and trying to explain, well, this is the reality, isn't real. It's just an illusion.
So if that's the case, then what's next? Well, there really isn't anything next. It's just what apparently appears. Okay, what's appearing next? Well, whatever appears. And whatever appears, it will appear, regardless if we want it to appear or not.
Right.
And so it will. So apparent appearances will appear as they do.
That just messes with people's brain. But yeah, I want to read some more about that, and read up on your website and get an idea about some of these other concepts. Because I always like learning new things and trying to figure out things and understand it. But I was aware of it, but I wasn't what it's called, about non-duality. But I never, excuse me, I never heard it called that before. I didn't know that's what it was. That was a proper term for it.
Oh yeah, well, non-duality is just simply means not two.
Right.
One without a second.
Yeah. So it's pretty fascinating. Then it starts. Then you start to try to figure out how religion tries to explain that.
Yeah, religion
And
tries to explain, but that's just an attempt. It's an attempt to explain that which is unreal.
yeah,
They're unreal, and they apparently appear to be real, but they're not. So that's just it. But can't even go beyond that. That's okay.
you're going into a weird area, Jerry. Don't know where we're at. You're going Cheeto on me, Gerald, are you? I'm going crazy out there, man.
What am I? Who am I? Where am I? Damn it.
Why am I here? Who the fuck are you?
Dementia. Oh, man. Oh, jeez. Can you imagine? Dementia.
Think you need to come back into this realm, Gerald.
Yeah, really.
Damn. Yeah, well, that's why that movie, The Matrix, was such a hit, because it touched on all these ideas without, and I always say Hollywood's trying to warn us or explain shit to us that we don't yet understand or we haven't yet discovered.
Yeah.
But it touched on all these areas that explain, these different ideas that are we living in some construct? None of this is real. It's like some people are really starting to wonder about that because of some of the things they see and experience and everything like that. So it makes you start thinking about, is this reality as we think reality is, or is it something that our mind is producing? That's when it starts getting weird. Then you find out the awful truth that everyone's living in a computer program, and they're just, none of it's real. Everything you see is just electrical impulses fed to your brain. Well, that is reality. Electrical impulses being fed to your brain, but how do you know what you're experiencing is in fact real? You don't.
And this brain that we're hooked up, how is that our mind?
Mm-hmm.
There's that sense of a separate self. Once that collapses, what are you left with? Well, you're not really left with a separate sense of self any longer. If you don't have a separate sense of self, then what is left if it's not a separate sense of self?
But then how do you explain, the spiritual world, the guff, the souls and all that?
Now that word guff is so rare. You never really ever hear anybody using that term guff. But a guff was mentioned. I remember reading about a guff where there is a well of souls, or a some type of a realm of a place where souls originate from. Now, how can that be, where souls can originate from a certain place?
Mm-hmm.
And yet there is mention of a guff. That's what's amazing about some of these books that go into those areas, like the Keys of Enoch and books like Urantia.
Mm-hmm.
Those kind of books, they go into these other realities or other realms that you really wonder, well, where did this information come from? It had to have a source of some kind. What mind conceived of those things that are mentioned in those books? And that's really outlandish stuff too. When you start looking into it, when you start talking about realms of angelic realm, of of the Ophanim, the Nephilim, Seraphim, Cherubim, these orders of angels, and they all have names, and they all have certain tasks that they performed.
Yeah, I've been reading up on that, the hierarchy of the angels. Yeah,
Yeah, the hierarchy of the angels. They wonder about that. You say, where
that's
did that
fascinating.
originate from? Where did that come from? That had to have a source. It had to come from somewhere. But you wonder where? Where did that originate?
Mhm.
We don't know where this information came from. It just appeared. It just appeared one day. We start looking into it. How is that possible?
Yeah, who
How can
figured
that?
it out?
Yeah. How can that be? Where these other realms exist? Do they really exist? You wonder. Well, they say there's certain people that say that these angels did exist and do exist, but not in our realm, not in our level of awareness.
But yet they can interact in this realm. That's the weird part. Is that how is it that these spirits or these other entities or angels or whatever are
Yeah,
able to exert influence in this realm, or in some cases appear in this realm if they're not? How are they doing it? Where are they at that they're able
yeah.
to do that and have interaction with this realm? Or if they're outside of this realm, how do they get into it? And if we're inside a realm, how do we get out of it? That's the real question. you know and I try
And
to
then,
look for different things and these different signs and all that, and I know there's no such thing as happenstance. There's everything happens for a reason. You see things for a reason, like seeing 11 on the clock and things like that. It's just all
or
that
two,
is,
or 222, or 333.
yeah, these are all called angel numbers, and they have certain meanings and things like that. Just like if you start getting into numerology, it covers the meaning of numbers and what they mean, and life path numbers and all that stuff. And some of it's like right on. You start reading about it and you start looking into that. It's like, yeah,
How? How is that spot on that way? Yeah.
how is it?
How does that work? Yeah. How does it become so spot on then? If it has symbolic representation, it is significant in that way.
Mm-hmm.
How is it significant like that? What makes it that way?
Yeah, I can't answer that. All I know is that it just somehow it connects. But yeah, I've learned to like be more awake and observe things, and you see things that are happening, and you can actually predict. You can start predicting the future. You start getting that mind's eye, and you can start seeing what's going to happen next, even if it's just in the
Nostradamus,
future a little bit. Yeah,
as Nostradamus did.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
It was amazing how he was able to do what he did and how he did it, and you know,
Bowl of tea leaves and water.
it was tea leaves and water. I know he used basically a bowl of water for scrying to see his images, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure all the other stuff he did. But what all he did, what all he used to for his divination. But he was able to see things. So I don't know. But, no, it truly is fascinating. Like I say, I need to start reading up more about these concepts, so I can understand it better and get a better understanding and a better idea of what it's all about. Because it is, to me, that's fascinating. I like learning new things and learning about other concepts that were always right there in front of me, but you never pay attention to. You know, like under the surface, incognito, hid, yeah. Yeah. I really gone down the rabbit black hole today, Adrian.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's interesting. So you working on any new books or anything about these subjects?
No, that's pretty much. I dumped as much information as I could on the website. There's a lot of information that's there, but it kind of just simply starts repeating. I start I started to notice that when I was writing it all down, And I got to a point of where it was just reorganizing almost the same words, just reorganized in a different way. And it just turned out like that. I was
Yeah.
just I was just dumping all my thoughts and ideas about when I first started noticing this expansion of awareness, I guess I could say, that just hasn't ended, and it doesn't have an end to it.
Mm-hmm.
and and that's how it continues to be, where I'm looking at everything around me, and it just confounds. It's just confounding. Um, it's baffling. It's a mystery. Uh, how things are, how things appear to be, and I can't explain it. And it's extraordinary. So I just
Yep.
accept it. I just accept everything as it appears, and 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 that remains a mystery, and it's fascinating as it is, as
Mm-hmm.
it appears to
Well,
be.
that's all you
So
can do.
yeah,
You have to
accept it.
accept it.
Yeah, accept that. Exactly. So there's a form of acceptance that's happening there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a type of acceptance, and that's just it. Accept it just as it appears to be. Can't do anything about it. Can't do anything about it. There's no need to. No need to interfere with it. It's like, yeah, just let it happen. It
Can't
does.
stop it anyway. So
Yeah, and there's a sense of freedom in that respect, and that's okay. It's all right. It's that way. Yeah, I'm still riding a bike too. I mean, I'm taking the bike to work every day.
Oh, really? You don't drive?
Yeah, I don't drive. Just ride the bike.
You gotta drive on the wrong side of the road over there, Daryl.
Oh well, like yeah, Bev has the car, and she drives that.
Uh-huh.
She has a little car she uses to go to work in, and that's what she uses. So that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if we need to go anywhere, well, we'll go in the car and go to a coffee shop or whatnot, and that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I use the bike to go to work, and it feels good to at least get that much exercise. At
Yeah.
least
How far?
just
How far do you have to ride to work?
it's 6 miles.
One way?
Yeah,
That's
six
pretty
miles one
good.
way, 6 miles back. Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's a
that's pretty good.
12 mile round trip.
Is it fairly flat or is it hilly or what is it?
Oh, it's kind of hilly, so
It's
I'm getting
hilly.
getting kind of a workout. Yeah,
It's hilly.
there's 3 hills. There's three gradual hills that are reached, and the rest is just flat
Do
terrain.
you get to go through the rocket?
There ain't no rocket.
You gotta go through the rocket, motherfucker. That's a workout.
That's true.
you,
Yeah,
you didn't bust the shit out of your chain like you did the other one, did you?
I bust the shit out of cheek.
I still remember that one to go on our bike ride. You go take off and you blew the balls out of that fucker. They were, what'd you do? Broke the car, man. That was funny. I gotta come back here and go for a ride. Yeah. Well, if you ever want to make a trip to San Antonio, I'm sure I could spree for the plane ticket. A round trip. I'll need to do round trip, Gerald. Don't get stuck here, yeah. But yeah, I can't imagine it would cost that much, but I can do it.
Well, that'd be cool if you could, but
Yeah, because I know you got family here too. How's your sister and Max and your mom and what's
well,
going
my brother ain't around no more. He passed away way back.
on? Oh
Shoot.
no, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I know you didn't know, but it happened Oh, how far back was that? That was back in 2000. Oh man, 2000, 2000, 1999, 2000, something like that. No, couldn't have been that far back.
Wasn't
2000,
that far back because you were
no,
still here.
yeah, 2012, 13. Ah, can't even remember how far back it was.
Were you over in England when he passed away, or were you
Yeah,
here still?
yeah, I was here.
Okay.
I was here when he did pass away.
Well, I didn't get to talk to you much once you moved off. So what did you die from?
Overdose, heroin.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I'm sorry about
yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, that's what he was. He was into. He was into that. But
I didn't know he's still on that shit. I didn't know he's doing that anymore.
oh yeah. But my sister, she's still around, and my mom, she's still around. She's in her 80s. She's 85, I
Oh,
think,
God,
this year.
God bless that. Yeah. Is your
Yeah,
sister still just still the sister still living over there and your mom still living over in the same neighborhood? They moved.
yeah, yeah. Same neighborhood, Babcock North, and she's retired. My sister retired from her
Mm-hmm.
job, and so she's 60, 62 now,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, yeah, she's retired. So they're staying in the house there in on Springhurst.
Yeah, Springhurst. Yeah.
Yeah,
Your house was on Spring Lark, if I remember correctly.
yeah, yeah. It was a Spring Lark, but that house is now uh, changed changed ownership. So,
Mm-hmm. Your mom's
so
still living in her same house too?
oh yeah, still there.
Oh, good. Good for her.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, that house was paid for way back in the 80s. So.
Yeah, because that trail that I ride goes right by that neighborhood. If you still live there, you could just get right on it. It's crazy. Every time I go by there, I think about you.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. That paved. It's paved now.
yeah,
That area that's back there.
yeah. It's crazy. And
Probably
then,
there's no more trails down there. It's all paved, isn't it? There's no more trails.
well, you could still go off, do off on your own trails, but going by there where we used to ride, it wasn't paved. It's all they paved it all the way. Like I said, you can ride almost around the entire city, and they want to make a loop that basically goes around the entire city.
Wow.
And like I said, if you go online, you can see those trail system. It's crazy. But those pictures I sent you was how some of it is. But now I go even further north.
Oh
There's
yeah.
a steep ass hill over there by Eisenhower Park, and they had to do switchbacks on it to go zigzag back and forth up it. But if you go up that hill, it's it's like this. I'm not shitting you. It's like that,
Yeah.
about a power wires. And it's crazy. And then coming down it, boy, you can get up to about 30 or 40 miles an hour if you're really hauling ass,
I bet.
when you're going down on that where they paved it. And so it's pretty nice. I mean, and they got, of course, these watering stops and everything. And but yeah, it's a good biking ride, that's for sure.
I bet it is.
But yeah, it's like it's been a lot of years have gone by, man. But like I said, I still go by there. I remember that house. I remember setting up the antenna. I remember all that shit. And your
Oh,
boys, how's Boo and Justin doing?
oh man, they have their own families going now.
I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Boo had
Uh-huh.
a son named Lucas,
Mhm.
and Justin has Mason. Man, Mason's by like he's 12 by now, I think.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a grandfather.
Yeah, indeed.
Damn.
Official grandpa now.
Yeah, Carmen's kids are having kids now. Shit. I'm a great uncle. I always have been a great uncle, but yeah, it's
Wow.
crazy, man.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you never developed a British accent, baby. Yeah, you're talking like this, are you?
No, no, I don't. I just naturally been speaking the same way, and it hasn't influencing me at all. No, yeah, that's really something. But
People still tell you stuff about it.
oh yeah,
You're not
yeah.
from around here, are you?
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely noticed that right away. It never gets old, really.
I gotta start talking like this. Really freak about Gerald. Because that's how God is, motherfucker.
I wonder what the hell are you doing?
What the hell's the matter? Are you mental? Is that it? Did you turn mental? Did you go mental already?
Yeah, mental.
That's crazy, man. Still the same old Gerald. Yeah. That's good though. You haven't changed a bit. Still as I remember you.
That's right.
Yeah. I still got that picture, that little wallet-sized picture you gave me. It's out in the garage on my workbench. I get to see it with you with the keys.
You're the keys.
I was looking at take you. My kids is driving me crazy. Crazy. God damn it. That's some funny shit, motherfucker. Yeah, no, I'm serious. And look into it if you could ever make a trip over here, if you get away from work or something. I'm not sure what your work schedule's like, but it'd be good to see you and reconnect.
Yeah, I think I can get probably work out, get 2 weeks off, but I don't know. I have to see about that.
Well, at least we got at least in the meantime we got the Zoom thing.
Oh yeah,
we can still do that. We can set up a times and stuff like that. I'll put in my, I don't know the area code, or I mean not the country code, but I'll put in my phone number. It's still the same as it always was.
Oh yeah.
I never changed it. So if you ever get any time, I've got a VoIP line, but I don't know if I haven't gotten the international package. So you can call me on that, or you can call me on that number, but you'd have to pay for it. If you got a VoIP number, you can probably do that.
Fine right here. I mean, doing the Zoom. It's live and real.
It works too, motherfucker. I get to see eyes.
That's right.
Fucking hair. But yeah, stuff. Last year I didn't do it because it rained on my ass, but I was still doing the Halloween thing. And
oh yeah, the Halloween.
Still doing that. I haven't changed that or anything. And don't have any pets or any butt ups.
Oh, your butt ups are gone?
No beewees or butt ups. There's some words here. You haven't heard those in a while, haven't you, Gerald? No, don't get the goody baby. For the sake of German signs of papers, baby.
I have a beeble.
You got a beeble?
Yeah, I got a beeble staffy. Very beebly.
Do you beeble on it?
Yeah.
Signs of papers, baby.
His name's Oscar.
Oscar?
Oscar the staffy, yeah.
Cool. That's good, man.
He's beebly.
Yeah. Nothing much changed over here. Still the same old Dean, Gerald. Nothing else. I'm consistent.
Yeah.
But yeah, if the weekends are good for you, that works for me. Normally Sundays I try to do my bike ride, but we got cold over here today. Last night I got down to the 30s. So I don't ride if it's too cold. It's not necessary. I just do my indoor workout. But normally I'm free on the weekends if you want to chat. We can be earlier. It doesn't have to be late. I don't know what your schedule's like when you're available, but evening works better for you. Your time, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
okay.
Now I got your email address and everything. We can keep in touch and schedule it, and you can send me the link and I can connect that way with you.
That's right.
Okay. Give me some time to get caught up in that complex whatever you call it. Yeah, I think I don't know if you're on Facebook or anything. I'm not, but you got to see if you can find Gene Calvillo and all these other people. See whatever happened to them.
That's true. I didn't think about trying to enter that name in there. See if he might be on there.
See if they're around. Yeah, I used to talk to this one guy, Martin Hannibal, and we went by Hannibal on the radio. We talk every night and talk about sports stuff, but he up and died on me, poor guy. And he was a good guy, man. And now I talked to this one guy named Larry. I've come up with different handles for him. He used to go by Elvis, but then I changed it to Half Watt, because he's got a small radio. Then I changed it to Shit Stain because we heard some black guy on the radio. we heard some black guy on the radio going, shit rain, shit rain, shit rain, shit rain. I don't know what the fuck that was all about. Shit rain, shit brain, shit stain. It's terrible, man. It's like, fuck, man. we get all into the radio now, but
you got different characters now going.
and since the sunspot activity has been high, man, we got all this skip coming in like crazy. So I've been talking to Quebec and all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, he lives over there. He's only got a mobile. He wants to get a house and set up a base station, but he lives over there in an apartment. He's over off of I was talking to him when he's off on the other side of those streets up there, Northwest Military and Lock Hill, Selma, and all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
We'll move a little closer to Vance Jackson, so I talked to him now. We can talk just fine on the radio. So we talk on that on sideband, and but yeah, I'm still doing that. I dug out that radio, and then I was talking to Martin every night. Then when he passed away, I didn't have anyone to talk to, but I left it hooked up. But I'm still doing it. So yeah, I miss those days, man. I really do. I mean, Leo passed away too, and everything. Hold on a second.
Wow,
hello?
Leo.
Yeah, I'm home. Okay, but hold on one second. Let me go get the front door. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, Leo, he passed away 2 years ago this year on my birthday, no doubt.
From what?
Well, he had Parkinson's.
Wow.
And he'd fought it for a number of years. He had it since he was in his 50s, and he died when he was 71, I think.
Wow.
And yeah, it was sad because, basically he started suffering from dementia, but a lot of it was because, his wife, being a Karen, he's got dementia. He can't do this. He can't do that. He can't. I was like, if he wants to change the oil on his truck, let him. Well, if he gets down there, I can't get him up. I said, he'll find a way up. He's like a damn cat that gets stuck in a tree. They'll come down. There's no point in not letting him do anything because he's has Parkinson's. That's stupid. But by her taking away things and taking away things and taking away things, it got to the point he was useless. And then he started believing in the bullshit. Oh, I can't do anything because I've got dementia. I was like, dude, man, why are you taking that that approach to it? You should just do what you can do. I know you're not going to do anything you can't do, but little by little, it got progressively worse. And then the medication was working for a while, but it wasn't working as good. And then so his wife said he was becoming too violent, she said. So she basically just took him off the medication and let him die. That was it. And as soon as they stopped the Parkinson's medication, I shit you not, in 2 weeks, the man aged like 25 years. He looked frail and skinny. I didn't even recognize him. I went to see him in the hospital, and he was basically unconscious by that point. And I got to go see him over here when they built a hospital over here off of 151, not too far from my house by SeaWorld. And I got to see him there. And when I saw him there, he was still alert. I could talk to him. I rolled him around the wheelchair and took him around. When I saw him 2 weeks after that, I didn't recognize him. That's how much being on that medication was keeping him alive. And when she stopped it, she says, well, it was time because he wasn't doing any good. I was like, how'd you like you to be on life support? And we just pulled a plug and you're conscious of it, It was sad. So, but yeah, so he's gone now. And, so and Father Pat, the priest, he passed also. And, that's the sad part about it. You get to a point in your life when life stops giving you things and starts taking it away. So, but, I haven't, knock on wood, I'm glad you're still around and some other people are still around. Hesse's still around. But yeah, it's just, you start worrying, both of my parents are gone now. You knew that. You buried both of them with me.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're just, it's to that point, it's just like, what do you do? I'm still here, Gerald, making everyone miserable. But yeah, so like I said, I want to make sure we can stay in contact with each other, because it's, I don't want to lose any more of my friends, and I consider you family, more than a friend, but family. So I'm, you're my brother. I never had, really. Leo was the other one, and he's gone now, so it's too bad. But yeah, but I am serious about that. If you can figure out some time, we can coordinate it. I'll be happy to, find out what the cost is. If it's cheaper to buy it there, I can buy it here, or get a plane ticket and bring you over here for some time to visit and hang out. And that way, at least you get to see your mom and your sister too. If you haven't seen them, I don't know if you've made any trips back here since you've been over there, but if you haven't been back here in a while, you could come back over here.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll look into it.
Yeah, definitely. But other than that, yeah, that's all I've been doing. But yeah, I enjoyed our chat, and I'm glad we get to do it. And let's use the technology to keep in touch.
Oh yeah. That's true.
But I'm gonna get ready. I'm gonna go pick up Hesse for our weekend, going out to eat and watching a movie. I'm still got the theaters. I'm still doing that.
All right.
But and I know it's getting late over where you're at. I guess it's 10:30 your time, I'm thinking.
That's okay.
But yeah, just let's keep in touch, and if weekends work good for you, that's fine. Or during the week, if that works. I don't know what your schedule's like, but whatever works, just let me know when you're free, and we'll make it a point to keep in contact.
Well, Saturday night then, mother.
Yeah, make it a Saturday, motherfucker. Saturday afternoon for me, motherfucker.
Okay.
But
we'll do that then.
All right, motherfucker. I got your emails, addresses. I got your phone numbers. You got my numbers. So don't be a stranger, motherfucker. Right there. Doing that shit again. Okay. So, well, Rick, I love you, and I'm glad to talk to you and everything. Give my best to Bevy and everybody else, and anyone else that remembers me, your sister, if you talk to her, your mom, your boys, and yeah. Thanks for the chat. I really miss you, and I hope we can see each other again physically. Sometime, maybe this year, or whenever we can get away. Let me know.
All right, we'll do that.
But are you still by London, or where are you closest to?
Yeah, Peterborough is a town that's there's Cambridge, and then there's London.
No, I know Cambridge.
Cambridge is between
Peterborough. Peter.
It's between Peterborough and London. There's Cambridge. So
okay.
You get to Cambridge, and then you get to London.
Yeah, but you're not that far from London. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. Well, nice. I'm still in the same place, San Antonio, right where you left me. On Creek Island.
All right.
But yeah, so let's keep in touch, definitely.
All right, we'll do that.
Next Saturday. Thanks a lot for the chat, and take care of yourself, and all the best to you. And
okay, we'll try next Saturday then.
Let's try it. Let's try it on Saturdays. Make our day.
All right. Talk to you then.
Well, have a good night, motherfucker. Go to your comfort bed, motherfucker. Bed. All right, Rick. Well, take it easy. Take care. Thanks.
Right. See you later.
All right, later. Bye-bye.